Have you ever experienced a situation when you have felt very guilty for doing wrong to someone or for committing a sin unintentionally? The sense of guilt may be very strong, and you are not able to figure out how to come out of this guilt. This story of Buddha guides us on how to get over the feeling of guilt for unintentional harm done to others. One day, early in the morning, hunter Koka was on his way to the forest. He was armed with a bow and arrow and was walking with a pack of hunting dogs. Suddenly, he saw a monk coming towards the city for his alms round. He hated monks, and he took the sight of the monk as a sign of bad luck. He said to himself that he was not going to get any game today because he had seen the face of the monk early in the morning. He entered the forest with extreme anger. Meanwhile, the monk entered the city, and after having his breakfast, he started his travel back to the monastery. He was staying at the Jetavana monastery in Sravasti, and he was a disciple of Buddha. The hunter tried his luck in the forest, and as he had thought, he was not able to get any game that day, though he tried very hard. He also started his journey back to his village with an empty stomach and an empty bag. His dogs were also very hungry after all the hard work in the forest. Now he was in a state of extreme rage at the monk. As he came out of the forest, he saw the same monk coming towards him, walking slowly. The smile and satisfaction on the face of the monk were only adding fuel to his anger. In anger, he started shouting at the monk, blaming him for his unsuccessful day. As revenge, he decided to let his dogs loose on the monk. He abused the monk and said that because of him, his dogs are hungry, and now the dogs will teach him the lesson. The monk pleaded with the hunter not to harm him, but the hunter was burning in anger, and he ordered his dogs to kill the monk, and he set the dogs free. They were hunting dogs and understood the command of their master. They ran aggressively towards the monk. The monk ran to save himself and somehow managed to climb a small tree. He took shelter on the fork-shaped main branch of the tree. The branch was of small height, hardly of a man's height from the ground, but it was sufficient to keep him safe from the aggressive dogs. The hunter Koka came under the tree and said to the monk that all his attempts to save himself were futile. He was going to get killed by his dogs and cannot escape from him and his dogs by merely climbing a tree. Suddenly, the monk felt intense pain in the sole of his feet. He was horrified to see that the hunter was piercing his soul with his sharp and pointed arrow. He started to plead to the hunter that he had done no harm to him and please let him go. He begged for mercy. The hunter paid no attention to the pain of monk and kept on poking and piercing his soul again and again. The monk was in intense pain. He was feeling as if his entire body was burning and he had been set on fire. He started losing control over his body. He was under such intense pain that he was not able to hold his outer robe, which slipped from his body and fell on the hunter standing on the foot of the tree. The robe covered him from head to toe, and the hunter was not able to see anything. When the dogs saw the figure covered in the yellow robe, they mistook him for the monk. They attacked him and killed him immediately. The monk was trembling at the horrible sight. Suddenly, he saw a thick dry branch which he immediately threw towards the dogs. The dogs got scared by the sound of the branch which had fallen over them. They realized that they have killed their own master. They left the site and ran inside the forest in extreme pain. After finding that now it was safe for him, the monk got down from the tree and returned to the monastery. The monk was very disturbed. He believed that the hunter lost his life because he was not able to hold his robe, and that's why he was responsible for the death of the hunter. He was feeling very guilty that he might have inflicted upon himself the bad karma of killing a human being. He decided that he will seek the guidance of the Supreme Teacher in this regard. At that time, Buddha was staying at the Jetavana monastery for his rainy retreat. The monk went to Buddha and narrated the whole story from beginning to end. He told the great teacher that the hunter has lost his life because he was not able to hold his robes. He asked if he was still innocent or he had lost his merits as a person walking on the path of Dhamma. Buddha said, "Monk, you must rest assured and you must not have any doubt. You are not responsible for the death of the hunter. You are still innocent and you have not accumulated any kind of sin. If one commits an offense against a person who is offenseless and against a man who is free from sins, the karma of his evil deeds returns to him like the fine dust thrown against the wind. The illusion and doubt of the monk were gone, and he was free from the feeling of guilt. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. We are constantly coming out with new videos on the life of Buddha and the Buddhist heritage. If the information provided by the video was useful, please subscribe to the channel for similar videos on Buddhism. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below on experiencing the guilt over unintentional harm to someone.